This is Rogers T.
Good evening and welcome to another West Talk. Today is Tuesday, November the 4th, and it is snowing. Big, fat, chunky snowflakes falling out of the sky, at least from here in my office in Pasadena. So I guess you know what that means. Winter is coming. And we are doing this week's episode a little bit virtually, a little bit different, but still a great episode in store for you. We are going to be talking with the Arts and Culture Center and Grenfell University to hear about the events on the go for the month of November that you need to know about. But also on this episode, we are going to be speaking with the newly elected MHA for Corner Brook, former Mayor Jim Parsons. And, you know, the West Talk audience is used to seeing Jim at the beginning of every season. And now we've interviewed our new mayor recently. So we are going to start this episode by jumping straight in with this interview from St. John's with Jim Parsons. All right. And now, as we mentioned right off the top, we've got a very special guest. Normally, we start off our West Talk episodes or our seasons by interviewing the mayor of Corner Brook, which we had to interview somebody different on this season, but not to fret. We've got Jim Parsons back again. It wouldn't be a season opener of this show without talking to Jim Parsons, who just recently made the big change from being the mayor of the city of Corner Brook to being the newly elected MHA for that same area. And now joining us on the line remotely from his new quarters in Confederation Building is Jim Parsons. Jim, thanks for being with us.
How you doing? It's it's great. I have a much more modest office here than I had at City Hall, but it is just the office when I'm in St. John's, which I hopefully will only be a minimal amount of time.
Yeah. So how is the view at Confederation Building versus the one you're used to at City Hall?
Oh, I have a great view of the parking lot. It's amazing. I can see at least 100 cars.
Nice.
No, it's been madness here the last few days. Of course, just got sworn in. So today and tomorrow we're in training sessions, and there's all kinds of logistical things, trying to get access, email and phones and office space straightened out back in Corner Brook. There's a lot going on, and of course, with the change of government, there's a lot of the caucuses are all moving around. So there's boxes galore of different computers and files and things moving around. So it's a bit hectic right now.
Yeah, I guess it's not a normal. It's a little different than we've seen things go in the last number of elections. And I'm hearing from some other friends out in the St. John's area that it's been quite an interesting transition and kind of people and things going everywhere. So that makes sense. But, can you already get a sense of what types of things that you learned or that occurred while you were mayor do you think now are going to be most beneficial to you in your new role as an MHA?
Well, I think that the big thing is there are other municipal leaders that are a part of this house as well. And so you're coming at it with a great advantage. You're used to dealing with the public and helping them solve their problems on a regular basis. You're very accessible. People are used to seeing you at the grocery store. Your phone number's usually out there. So it's in some ways, it's not that big of a transition. For others, I'm sure, that have never been in politics before, becoming an MHA is going to be a huge, huge transition for them and their family. I think it's very interesting and exciting. I'm learning a lot in the last few days. I'm going to learn a lot more in the next few months, of course, about how the house works, a lot of the logistical details. But of course, the first thing that I'm realizing is the nature of the concerns and things that I'm dealing with from our constituents. It's not potholes and recreation fields now. It's healthcare housing, those kind of things. And it's so I'm learning a whole new set of contacts and people to deal with and get answers from.
So, and really, in a way, this is just has just elevated your ability to help take care of the people in this region, right? As a mayor, you got to impart so much change on your community, and now as an MHA, I guess you'd expect you can sort of run even further with this ball.
Well, it is like it's a whole different bailiwick. There's no doubt. Now, again, there are different levels of government. They all have their own responsibilities. I think municipal government is still like, I don't think one is necessarily more important. I think it is just different, and it addresses different issues. There were certainly a lot of frustrations we had in the municipal world when it came to provincial laws and federal for that matter. And, there's some things that I'm hoping I can help City Hall address. I've already been corresponding with them about their priorities as an organization and what they need to get their work done. And, I'm getting calls from constituents to deal with them directly in terms of some of the issues that they're facing. It is different. I mean, it is pretty amazing. I must say, yesterday with the swearing in and the election of speaker and some of the pomp and that goes along with the House of Assembly. We're learning a lot about the history, and it is a real honor. I mean, it does strike you every now and then that. You do have a very special role. You're one of 40 people representing our entire province, and it is, I'm still absorbing that part of it, but there's lots of work to keep me grounded.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a pretty intense thing, and especially right now, what a time to get to be one of those 40 people who get to kind of steer the course of this province over the coming years with so much change in the world and everything. So, but I have to ask Jim, just knowing you a little as I do, I know you entered into municipal politics already with a pretty great understanding and education on politics. You had a great run in council, and so why now? Why did you decide that now was going to be the time actually make that move and put your name forward for a higher level of politics?
Yeah, the opportunity came about. I knew that there was an opportunity to run for Liberals here, and that's where I wanted to run. It fits with my politics. I'm a fairly progressive-leaning politician, but I do appreciate, I guess, the important role that we have in government. And so that was a big part of it. I really enjoyed being mayor. Being mayor, it really was again a real honor. We were able to get some amazing things done, and I'll never forget that. Council is a very unique experience. I'm really happy to see new and different people joining council this term. It's really great. It's important work. But yeah, I was looking for, I guess, another opportunity to serve the people of Corner Brook, and so it presented itself, and I thought, this is the time, and so here we are, and I'm really jazzed about it. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I think I'd imagine it must feel good to go ask the people of Corner Brook to vote you in as a mayor several times, and they said yes. Yeah. And then you said, "Hey, now I'm willing to do this." And once again, they said, "Yeah, you're gonna be the guy to go fight for us." So I think that's awesome, and I imagine you must be really proud of that. I'd like to ask Jim, and this is a similar question that previously I asked the newly elected mayor of Corner Brook. And you can take a moment to think about this if you need to. If there was one thing, if there was one project or one, big thing that you could achieve or get done in Corner Brook as in your new role, what would it be? Is there any one particular thing that you think, geez, if I could just accomplish this, that I would be quite happy?
Yeah, there's a ton of things I think on my wish list for sure. Now, in opposition, there are more challenges to that, of course. course.
Mhm.
You probably aren't as able to directly impact. You have to indirectly impact and push issues forward. I have a lot of priorities here. Wastewater treatment has been one that I identified when I was running for mayor, and something that the city has identified, something that I think is the responsible thing to do. But that is going to take the help of the provincial and federal governments to get that done.
Mhm.
We weren't successful in getting that. We did push it forward, and we did identify it as a priority when we were asking for money as a city. And I'll continue to advocate for that. Hopefully, connect the dots a little bit with our federal counterparts as well. The other things, healthcare is such a huge issue. It's 40% of the provincial budget. It's a big, big thing that our residents tell me that they need to get progress on. We need to make improvements, and I will put in that work on that slog, because it is a slog. We have to work at it incrementally, day by day. And The other thing is, there's the housing issue, particularly the social housing issue. And I know the previous government committed to 50 new units in the Crestview area. Some of those were, I think, 6 of those have been tendered. There's another tender out now. I'm going to be advocating to get that completed. That's a big thing, a big need in our community. We got to sort that out. And so the social safety net we have, that's something that's more in the provincial bailiwick. There's no doubt. That's something that the provincial government affects more than anyone when it comes to healthcare and education, and housing. And so I'm really happy to work on those issues. And yeah, in terms of a particular issue, we had some great success at the city with things like, the Marina Redmond Center. I'm really proud of that. We got that done. Really proud of that legacy for Marina Redmond. She meant a lot to me, a lot to our community. And to see that center with her name on it, that center is going to be amazing for the next 50 years. We were able to do a lot with tourism and ATVs and things like that. So there were very specific things that we got done. And so now I've got a new Christmas list that I've got to try and fill out.
Yeah. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I'm not trying to grill you too much. You're still unpacking stuff in your office there, right? So I know there's an order of things, but I guess really for anybody who's wondering what your priorities are going to be or what your interest might be, they don't need to look much further than the types of things that the city already accomplished in
Yep.
the last 12 years or so. So that's awesome, Jim. We just got a couple of minutes. I'd like to ask you a couple just little lighter questions to wrap this up. Just really curious about how much your life is changing, and all this excitement now. Is there any one thing you can already tell right now that's going to be, or I guess, what's the biggest difference in your routine and your day to day so far? Waking up every day as the mayor versus waking up every day as the MHA, or is it just all the same?
Well, I gotta say, I really miss the staff at City Hall. I spent every day. I was there. I was a full-time mayor. I spent all my time there. So working with the staff is something I really miss. So I'm a little bit, myself and my constituency assistant. We're going to have an office in Corner Brook, and so most of my time as an opposition MHA will be in Corner Brook. I don't have to move out here for any amount of time. I'm here when the House sits and for other committees and meetings and things. But for the most part, I will be a lone wolf out there in Corner Brook. And so trying to find ways to, make myself available instead of just going with the flow at City Hall, that's going to be a challenge, because you want to be out there. You want to be talking to people, and, keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on in the district and being responsive to the people who need your help. So it was a bit weird when I resigned, of course, anticipating an election earlier in August, and of course with the fires and the delays, I was sort of didn't have when I got up in the morning, I didn't quite have a schedule, and that was sort of weird for a little bit. But I'm used to working independently. That's what I did before I was mayor. So I got a feeling that I'm going to find lots to do.
Yeah, I have no doubt. And I think it's going to be great that you are going to be hanging in the riding a little bit. And, I
Mm,
think it's also, I can see that you're going to serve a very strong and important role in opposition, helping keep government accountable for all the things that need to be done here in Corner Brook. I have no doubt that
absolutely.
you're going to work greatly with the newly elected leaders. I think really for Western Newfoundland, it's looks like a really bright time. So I want to thank you for joining us today from St. John's, and next time we'll do it in Corner Brook. And of course, any
Absolutely.
developments that the people of Corner Brook need to know about, please send them our way, and we'll help that message out. Thank you very much, Jim.
Thank you, Dustin. Talk to you soon.
Take care. All right, that was the Honorable Jim Parsons from out in St. John's. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to wrap up this episode. Stay tuned.
So why volunteer at Rogers TV? Well, it's fun, exciting, and challenging. You can develop practical, hands-on skills in TV production, make new friends, and have fun, all while giving back to your community. For a few hours a week, you can be part of a great team making great local television. Want to find out more? Get in touch with us at rogerstv.com. Make your mark and find a new passion as a Rogers TV volunteer.
My biggest therapy is Mother Nature. When I walk through the woods, I'm seeing a little bit more than just a tree and just a plant. I see what I can do with it. I make medicines and salves from plants and trees. In 2014, I suffered with a heart attack. Since I had my heart attack, obviously there were some Western medications involved. And on top of the Western medication, I have found myself nature-wise, and medicines provided by Mother Nature has helped me a lot. With nature, I have burned sage and sweetgrass. I find that that cleanses the air and helps you cleanse your body. It also helps me talk to my ancestors. That has helped me through this whole process. I feel responsible as a Mi'kmaq person to help Mother Nature. We look at everything, whether it is a rock or a tree, as life. When I collect my medicines, I'm offering tobacco to thank the plant for the medicine. So the plant will, give me medicine again the following year. It's a part of the big whole. Right now we're standing in the middle of a boreal forest. I can look around, I can see birch trees. Birch tree, for example, there's so many things you can do with that. That is the tree of life. Aboriginal people have used the bark for making canoes, for making shelter, for fire starting. There's a fungus that grows on birch, it's called chaga. I use that for my tea. It's a very, very good all-around tonic. Balsam fir trees, the blisters on those trees actually were used to heal cuts and scrapes. You cut yourself in the woods, the first thing we'll do is put some balsam fir sap on it. Society now is so fast. I think the world really needs to slow down and just enjoy nature and the smells and the sights and sounds. Well, this is where it all started in the beginning, was from our plants, and our animals and that kind of thing. Why not go back to the beginning and get back to our roots again? It's very important for the Mi'kmaq people to embrace native tradition. For many, many years, we were told not to be Aboriginal, and I think now society has embraced, Aboriginal peoples, and we should embrace our history in the sense of, traditional medicines and traditional foods. I think it's all a part of the culture that we've lost. So now we have an opportunity to reach out and find ourselves again.
Hello, everyone. As always, we have an exciting lineup at the Arts and Culture Center. In the lobby, we have an exhibition called Virtual Reality. This is an art exhibition that explores online and virtual violence. After that, Lawn will be in with their annual holiday exhibit, and that's on display from the end of November to January. This Friday, we are thrilled to present Brent Butt, who many of you might remember from Corner Gas. Join us for a hilarious night of comedy. Off-Broadway's production of Groundhog Day opens on Thursday, November 13th, and runs for 3 nights. It's sure to be an amazing night of music and sharing community talent, so please join us. On November 20th, we have a Spice Girls tribute. Break out your best Spice Girl, ginger, baby, scary, posh, or sporty, and come out for a trip down memory lane. At the end of the month, we have the annual Fire Department Toy Drive fundraiser, Berry Mary, and that's on November 24th. Of course, that kicks off our Christmas holiday season here. The Broadway Blues Band are next up, teaming up with the Mill City Mavericks and Tammy Dutcher to present a fabulous night of holiday music. And this is going to be followed by The Once, Katie Anderson and Adam Luther in concert, Alison Crow, the Irish Descendants, Sheila Williams, the Ennis Sisters, NL Promotions Country Christmas Show, Rum Ragged, and even a Die Hard Christmas show. Remember, if you are looking for a gift for that hard-to-buy someone, there's always a gift certificate, and we'll see you at the show.
Hello from Grenfell campus, where, as you probably heard, we're celebrating our 50th anniversary. So it's 50 years since the first students came to Grenfell campus. Just recently, our former vice president, Dr. Jeff Keshen, whom many people know, I'm sure, came back to campus to launch his book, not by accident, but by design, A History of Grenfell Campus. So he retells some of the interesting stories on how we came to be from a little tiny place to the flourishing place that we are today. Books are available for pre-order, so you can visit our webpage or you can visit our campus bookstore. As part of our 50th anniversary celebration, we've launched our 50th anniversary scholarship fund. So the goal is to raise $50,000 to establish renewable scholarships that will help students across all academic schools throughout their studies. So again, please visit our webpage. Now to turn the page a little bit, on November 9th, this atrium will be home to the Teddy Bear Clinic. So if you've got a little teddy bear that's not feeling well, please come by. It's a lot of fun for kids, and it's a great place to learn a little bit about visiting a doctor and visiting a hospital. We'll also have some sensory-free spaces if that's a concern. So please visit us at the Arts and Science Atrium on this Saturday, November 9th. There's an opening reception taking place at the Grenfell Campus Art Gallery. So that's on November the 14th from 5 to 7 p.m. And it'll be 2 group exhibitions that'll contribute, that for people that have contributed to the visual arts program of Memorial University. So the first is called To Launch Forth into the Deep, and the second is Hard Westerlies. So you can join us on November 14th for these group exhibitions. Another exciting thing happening is Research Week. So that's going to take place from November 24th to 28th. So it's a full week of events celebrating the diverse research that happens here on campus. Check out our webpage to find out lots of information about lots of public events that you may want to attend. And finally, the Grenfell Campus Indigenous Craft Fair will take place here at Grenfell Campus in the atrium, the main atrium, on Sunday, November 30th from 10 to 3. That's a great place to visit some Indigenous artists and crafters. And that's everything from here at Grenfell. See you soon.
We do 4 beats to call our ancestors to our circle. For 15 years, I was very involved with the community. And then one day, a tragedy happened. My 15-year-old grandson was killed in a car accident. There's nothing in this world like it. I went to a very dark place where all you can think about is the loss and the pain. And nothing else comes into your mind until one day you get a phone call and all of a sudden the light comes on and you remember, well, maybe I'll go, it may help, it may not help. But the moment that I got into the circle, and it was like a weight lifted. The culture is, for me, is what brought me back. My family, my friends too as well, of course, in the community, but my culture, my beliefs, and the women. A healing circle is very powerful. You have women who have been through trauma, who at the moment are probably still going through trauma like I was, physically and emotionally. When a stick or a rock is passed around to each person and they speak, it's like a piece of your pain went to each of them. And when the stick comes back to you, half of that load on your shoulder seems to be lifted. It's very powerful, and it's there. It's offered to anybody who needs it. A healing circle can be called anytime. There are a lot of things that we offer in the culture, help offers in the culture, the Women's Association, with talking circles and healing circles, workshops, different workshops that you can come to. I think if you're focused on something other than your grief, it takes away for that little, that short period of time. It gives you some relief and something to look forward to. And I think every time you do that, it gives you little baby steps back into where you should be, back into your life and back into your community's life, your family's life.
So why volunteer at Rogers TV? Well, it's fun, exciting, and challenging. You can develop practical, hands-on skills in TV production, make new friends, and have fun, all while giving back to your community. For a few hours a week, you can be part of a great team making great local television. Want to find out more? Get in touch with us at rogerstv.com. Make your mark and find a new passion as a Rogers TV volunteer.
That's it for this episode of West Talk. I want to say thanks again to MHA Jim Parsons for joining us on the line from St. John's, and of course to the Arts and Culture Center and Grenfell for producing and sharing these wonderful events with the people of Western Newfoundland. That's it for this week. We'll be back, of course, next week with another West Talk. Take care.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Everybody knows not to drink and drive, but some people still think it's okay to take drugs and drive. Police have the authority, the ability, and the tools to determine if drivers are impaired by legal or illegal drugs. And because drug-impaired drivers can pose just as great a risk as drunk drivers, they face the same penalties, like the loss of their driver's license, a criminal record, fines, and more. A message from the RCMP, the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police, and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
Summer days, summer nights, lots of things to do, places to go, and people to see. If you're having a few drinks, be sure to plan ahead and get home safely. We don't want to pick you up. Drinking drivers risk injuries to themselves and others and take chances with their license, their jobs, and their future. Remember what's at stake and choose your ride, whether you're the driver, the passenger, or the party host. Thanks for supporting sober driving. I hope we never meet.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more.